Here we are. We are here
Hi
with the
there.
famous Guy Spaulding. This is one of the guys that keeps it all together. He is amazing. I am in awe. Oh, there we go. Little head. I love it. Oh, he's looking at dad. Who is this?
I can't hardly tell. I've got two grays and we're going to have a little bickering going on here.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I love it. I love when I think their crabbing is cute.
Hmm.
So cute. So you like assign mentees to mentors, right? You're like the big man on campus for that.
I I do. It starts with admitting new people to the group,
Mhm.
and um, we have a greeting that we send to them, and it offers mentors at that time, and people oftentimes, yeah, many times they miss the greeting because Facebook doesn't notify you very well when PMs come from someone that you've not already met before.
Yeah.
And so many people miss the greeting altogether. And that's when you'll see people that say, oh, I heard you have mentors, and they'll mention it in the group and be asking for a mentor at that time. And either Sandra or I will pick up on that. And we have a database program that keeps everybody organized. And we assign people from there.
You're really good at it. You're really good at it.
Oh, hush. I'm going to put you back in the cage. You know that? I thought this would be fun, but maybe not so. Okay. Oh, that's CC at the bottom making all the noises. It's time to sleep. It's time to sleep.
They're like,
There
it's
we
the
go.
middle of the night, Dad. Oh, well, hello, guys. Well,
Well,
hello.
they've been up and active, and I had them in wheels this morning, and they were running all over the floors. So I could, make sure that they pee and poo on the floor instead of on my shoulder, because that's their second favorite place.
Yes. I love it. We got a little
And
family gliders. This is a
and
good beginning to my day.
well, that's the white one is Coco, and then the darker one is Mama. That's Yaya, and then her daughter, their daughter, is Suji, is between is hey girl, is between them. So yes, indeed, we have a family, and they get along really good. But then we added one more glider, and she's doesn't always want to get along.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it happens. Not everybody gets along with everybody, do they?
indeed,
That's actually
indeed.
kind of a learning lesson because I mean, people want to stick all the gliders in and expect everybody to get along all the time, and we don't get along all the time. Like they learn to co-inhabit, but may not like them best or whatever. So it's kind of cool. So, Guy, when did you start with just sugar gliders? Not even the Guardians, but like when did you first get a sugar glider?
Well, 2 years before I entered retirement, we went to an RV expo to do a little bit of window shopping,
When was that?
and that was now 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I was feeling really good leaving the show without actually buying something. And then we spotted this booth there at the expo. There was pets display near the exit of the show. Now, I know my wife doesn't like any kind of small animals like birds or rodents or reptiles, but she was engaged. I was amazed how much she was interested in these sugar gliders. Needless to say, brought we bought their last joy, a little girl, and all the rest of the stuff that Pocket Pets says that you need. We were so fortunate because this little girl, that's Yaya, was full of love and ready to bond on day 2. And she seemed to be doing very well by herself, but we grew to feel sorry for her being alone all at night. So we bought her a cage mate 1 month later, and that's how it went down. That's 6 years ago, and then 4 years ago, I retired, and we bought an RV and moved on from there. We take our gliders everywhere we go.
Yeah, I've seen that video. You've sent it to me a couple times where you guys have that um, station.
It's like a
So
loft over the cab of the
yeah,
truck, of the
yeah,
Class C
it's
RV.
really cool the way you got it set up. So you could take them everywhere. That's really,
Right. And it's also the reason why we, only go with four. We
yeah,
don't really want more gliders because it'd be too difficult to travel with them.
right, exactly. Exactly. Small areas, right?
Hmm.
Small areas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you so you got them 6 years ago. When did you find, how did you do your research? When did you find Sugar Glider Guardians? What's your story?
Well, didn't really know of anything in on Facebook, so I went to some forums and got some information there, and well, frankly, ran into a lot of bias. I said, "Whoa, I got gliders from Pocket Pets. That wasn't the best thing to do, was it? If I had to do it all over again, it wouldn't have it wouldn't have been from Pocket Pets. Not that everything that they say is wrong, but so much that they insist on, and it's almost like brainwashing the way they try to impress their goals and their expectations on everybody. And it's just different than the rest of the glider world.
Yeah, I know for sure, for sure. I think I won't even say the thing that they told me that to me was the worst. It was mortifying that they told me to do to my glider. And I was like, I'm out. I'm out of there. So you went on Facebook and you found Sugar Glider Guardians, or did you find another one first, or how did that work out?
I probably joined 4 or 5 different groups about the same time, and honestly was kicked out of some because people started getting after me about the wheel, and I made modifications to the wheel to make it safer for the gliders. And they were dead set, no, 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 don't do that wheel kind of thing. And they were double teaming me, and I fought back using the word parroting and double teaming. And next thing I knew, boom, I was blocked.
That's funny.
But but it didn't happen that way with Sugar Glider Guardians. So I ended up staying with them and learning and helping others when people had questions about areas that I had already learned about. I would respond with nice, clear answers. And the one thing I like to do was when an answer has to be clear in many respects, is I would go ahead and write up a canned statement and put it on my computer so I could just copy and paste that into the question area, so that uh, if you try to explain things off the cuff, off the time, you'll miss a point, or there's something that you didn't stress or something. So putting all the information into canned statements and taking some time to analyze what you've written so that it could be concise and clear to everybody, um, seemed to be my forte. It seemed to be work out really well. And I was then, after a period of 6 or 9 months, I was invited to become a mentor.
Oh yeah, who invited you?
Oh my. I'm not sure if it was Aaliyah, Katrina, um, and I'm really bad with names that I use all the time, and I'll forget it tomorrow.
Yeah, I
So
hear you. Am I? Yeah, it's hard to remember because you just kind of do it.
indeed.
Like when people tell me their stories and they're so concise, I'm like, I would not do well at this right now, this interview,
Um,
because I don't remember like dates and who did the what. And I feel like as we talk, it's easier to remember. But they invited you in, and what's been your favorite part of mentoring?
Mm, there's so many, really. I mean, favorite part is the satisfaction of being able to provide good answers, to people that that to open their eyes, that they say, oh, I like this, I'm glad, I'm glad to get this information that you have. I didn't know it could be this easy, or I didn't know that this much variety could go into how you deal with gliders. Because it is just important to me that people realize that there is not just one way of doing things. There's a lot of variety out there, and that's what Sugar Glider Guardians I think focuses on. While you go other places and they say you got to do it this way and you got to do that way, and there's no other way to do it, and they don't always have a basis to say, oh, we do it this way because, and they don't really always have an answer, or it's because so and so said it.
Yeah.
There's certain people out there that have a great deal of background, and we've all learned so much from them, but it's important that they're not necessarily an expert in every area. And just because you have a lot of respect for them, you still have to look at everything that they say and make sure that all the questions have been asked.
Yep. Yep. I feel like if you don't question something and you blindly follow, it's foolish.
Indeed.
Indeed. And, make an educated decision, gather all the facts, and then make your decision.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been mentoring then for, what do you think? 4 years?
Now it's been 4 years.
4 years.
And I still mentor even now, although a lot of my time is taken up just by greeting new people and checking out their profiles, because we've recently been having so many problems with scammers trying to get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate nowadays. I feel like every day I get something from a scammer, every single day, either email or text or whatever. It's just crazy. So tell us about a difficult and a fun story about your sugar glider life.
Difficult. I think it's going to be with the fourth glider that we got. She came from another family, and you already saw the three with their heads poking out. The daughter, of course, was the princess. Mm-hmm. And we get this new little girl, and the princess is upset because she may be dethroned, and she didn't accept the new one. And so we had a very difficult time with introductions. And I live fairly close to Mike Cochran. We even had him help out. And we finally got them together like one day before we went on a 3-day or 3-week RV trip. And you talk about pins and needles, that was difficult. As far as a funny story goes, actually it was on that very same, no, it was a different one, our RV trip. We went to New Orleans and we visited a friend there, and she had a business, a beauty salon. We visited her in her business, and she had a couple of her gliders there. One of them was loose, and she was holding the glider, and the glider jumped over to my wife. My wife was holding our gliders, and her glider goes down her arm and right into the pouch. It's like, we're all frozen as what's going to happen. Next thing you know, they're getting into a kissing session. I didn't say hissing session. I said kissing session. My 3 gliders were kissing on that other glider that just introduced herself and said hello.
Aww.
We were just overwhelmed. So that's a perfect example of how intros can go wrong, so very wrong, and then other intros can be like, oh, they were meant to be together all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know how it's gonna go, and can only do your best, right? What would you say your strength is?
I'm sorry.
Your strongest suit when you're mentoring, like that you feel like you're dialed in, you know this.
I like to be well versed in every area, though I admit that I'm not so hot when it comes to medical or injuries or disabilities. I really would rather find another mentor who's got experience with that, because you can learn a lot from others, but if you haven't done it yourself, I think the same thing would be true for people trying to help others that have to hand feed a glider that's been rejected. If you haven't done it yourself, it's difficult to teach others.
Right.
So I try to get somewhat versed in every other aspect possible. I mean, you know, obviously the environment that you have your gliders in, the temperature, and the accessories that you have in your cage, and I think my strong point is resources.
Mhm.
Being able to provide information for people that I've already recorded and I've already written into my Word file, so
Yeah.
that I can just do a search for that particular area and cut and paste.
Yeah. I actually have learned a lot by transferring somebody who it was out of my spectrum
Mhm.
to I actually had probably my most favorite time was when I transferred somebody to Sandra, and
Mhm.
I put her in a group chat, and they luckily stayed in that chat because I got to sit there and read and like learn myself. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, this is awesome. Like I was just loving it. I was like, and I would chip in every once in a while, but I would mostly just like, this is so good. Like it was fun. It was fun to watch that. So yeah, I mean, people should know that if we don't know something, we have a group that somebody does.
The group is fantastic, and you know, I'm glad to see that we're actually expanding worldwide, being able to help people from other countries.
Yeah.
I have friends in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and they come into play from time to time. And of course, you know, Sarah's wonderful. You know, she's
Oh
from
yeah.
Great Britain, and she can provide help with anyone in Europe, and of
Yeah.
course our
I
mentors.
interviewed her in April.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. So now you have this video that after I post yours, um, that you had these wheel things that you do. How did you start doing that? Like, where did that come from?
Well, I was visiting Mike Cochran, and he had some of these wheels, and um, though he didn't demonstrate how they play on the floor necessarily, but the wheels can be built strong enough to where they can be used for emergency purposes. You know, if you've got a fire or something like that, you can put your gliders in the wheel and latch it really good and toss it out the window, and the wheel will, you know, would bounce around, and you'd be able to, you know, get the gliders to safety. Um, and I looked at the wheel, and it's like, I have a mechanical background, and in 5 seconds I say, I can make that. So, so I did, and I created a file to that explains how to make it and what sources, where to get the materials, et cetera, et cetera. And you know, I share it with others that are
Yeah, so
interested.
explain your to people who haven't seen your video, which I will ask you when I post it to put it in the comment section. But explain why you do that and like how it works. Like you're because you said you have a nightly ritual.
Right. I mean, you know, everybody would love to let their gliders go free, but what happens when you wake them up and you and you get them out of the cage or something? They're going to pee and poo all over the place, on you, on the furniture, on the carpet, whatnot. So we put our first we put our gliders on napkins, and they'll pee and poo a little bit there. Then we put them in the wheels, and they'll finish the job. They'll pee and poo on the hard surface on the floor where you can easily clean up after them. And once they're done, then you're free to put them in their, in a safe room and let them run around without being concerned about them peeing, pooing on your furniture and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea. I actually do it like I just play with them in the morning because then it's way easier for me.
Yeah.
I was telling you I get up so early because I'm like, otherwise, yeah, that was the issue. Like they were everywhere. So yeah, it was a great idea. I'm like, it was really kind of cool to see, and I'm excited for people to be able to see it. So do you sell anything glider related or?
I don't. The I would not want to sell the wheels because of shipping. I mean, the shipping costs more than the than the cost of the materials for making the wheel.
Yeah.
Because the post office has this thing. If and I feel sorry for the Cochrans because their wheel is 13 inches in diameter, and that is just over the threshold of price. If your box is only 12 inches, then it costs this much. But if it's 13 inches, boom, the price doubles. It's
Yeah.
silly.
It's craziness, the cost to ship things.
But we do have another mentor that makes wheels. I think that's Tony Brome, and I hope that you can put that in the comments as well, because he makes wheels similar to this one. In fact, materials are actually better than the ones that I use, and so he makes a great wheel, and
Well, and
people can buy that from him.
I just interviewed him yesterday, but he is not going on till the 5th of February. You're going on the 20th of this month. So
Okay.
people can watch this and then go see him at Gliders and Diamonds on Etsy. I remember it because I just put it all in the pending area. That's hilarious.
Terrific.
So what would you, so you have tutorials, you have like a YouTube page that you put all your.
I don't have a YouTube page. I save everything on my computer and share it out when everybody asks specific questions that I can cover.
Yeah, well, that's good. Okay, so tell me one interesting thing about one of your favorite gliders.
Oh, I hate to play favorites, but it's got to be Coco, our leucistic glider. He's got such a personality. He's such a clown, and I mean, we got him from a quote on air quotes here, commercial breeder. He says he sells to pet stores and stuff like that, which is not the greatest thing to hear nowadays. And we never got to see his home or where he breeds his gliders. We purchased Coco from the gentleman in a grocery store parking lot.
Oh, oh,
We get him home, and we asked, okay, have you been handling this glider since he was since he was out of pouch? He says, no. And he says, no, we don't want him to get bonded to us. Well, that's something you learn. If you get a glider humanized and bonded to one person, that glider will easily bond to others.
yeah.
So it took about 2 weeks to break Coco, because he was all crabby and mean and bitey and everything. And we learned, to speak gliderese and go, because means stop that.
Yeah.
So every time he would try to bite in his face, and he got the idea. And we also taught him that it's actually okay to bite gently, just don't bite hard.
Yeah.
And to this day, he'll still bite gently if he says, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Something
And
like that.
I'll hear that they like chewing, so it's cute.
Yeah, I hear a lot about that, but gliders are so, interesting. I mean, some people had to to create a safe room. They even have to eliminate electrical wires because their gliders chew so much.
Yeah.
Ours don't really chew on anything.
Yeah. Ours, we've had some that have been chewers and some that have not. We've had
Exactly.
all the variations. I've had so many over my time
Mm.
that we've just had them all. We've had all the brands of okay, so we're at the rapid fire questions.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Okay, so if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, wow. I I think all humans would love to fly. I would love to fly.
Yeah,
Sure.
love that.
Yeah,
That's
I want to see the bird's eye view of things.
yeah, and you get there a lot quicker too. What is your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, I'm 68. It's a long, pretty long life to be pointing out one big accomplishment. I mean, some of the things I felt really good about when I was in the Air Force, like we worked on this big important computer system, and the system failed, and we got the mother company. We're talking IBM to come in, and they worked on it for a week, and I was on leave at the time. I came back and I said, "You guys are barking up the wrong tree." I said to myself, and I went into the diagrams and I looked at this, and I went over and I replaced an element. Boom, it came back to life.
That's
They
awesome.
worked on it for almost 2 weeks, and I fixed it in a couple hours.
That's great. That is amazing. It just shows how you how like I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Thinking outside of the box, looking
Yeah,
at things from different angles, then
yeah.
everybody listens to each other and they follow the same trend. That doesn't always work.
Kind of like what you were saying earlier with some groups saying it has to be this way.
Hmm.
Yet sugar gliders is like, let's do the best practices, but education. Um,
I mean,
so
how many places you still go where it says, "Oh, our gliders come from Australia"? No, they don't.
right now, one movie comes on TV and you would watch over and over again. What is it?
I'm waiting for the Matrix series to come on TV. I'd like to see that again.
Yeah. So you
The
like the
Matrix.
Matrix series. Okay. Best advice you were ever given.
Oh, actually, I gave a word of advice to my son before he left the house. That is, try your very best when people try to teach you something, try to provide information. Don't say the words "I know." Find any other way to express yourself, like "I've heard that before," or just a simple confirmation, because every time you say "I know," it's you're throwing out an attitude, and that's going to work against you.
Right. And it doesn't really matter if you know.
Right.
It's how you make the other person feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good. That is good advice. It is good advice. So when you're gone, what do you want to be remembered for?
Just helping others, you know I want to be missed more when I'm gone than when I'm there.
Yeah.
So I wish Guy was here. He would know that.
Aw, that is good. Well, you will be. You're such an important part to gliders, and I'm sure you are in every other aspect of your life. I was super excited to meet you today because I mean I've messaged you on Facebook, but I haven't got to actually talk to you, and I think that's just totally different. Totally different. So, okay. Again, we're highlighting Guy Spaulding. Pronounced right?
Yes.
Okay. Don't
If
forget.
people say, oh, like the sporting goods. I said, oh, almost. It sounds the same. The Spaulding that makes the sporting goods doesn't have a U in their name. That's a German version of Spaulding, while mine has Spauld. It's like color, Colour. That's the way they spell it in Britain.
Yeah, it's just totally
English version.
different. It's different. And they get put the Z and realized, or the S. They put S and realized versus the Z.
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell when like a meme comes from it.
I used to tell people, oh yeah, pick up the telephone book. 50% is spelled with the U, 50% is without the U. And then I realized, wait a minute, we don't have telephone books anymore.
You know, I just threw away our old telephone books not too long ago.
Ha.
It's funny. So my husband loved them. I was like, whatever.
Hmm.
So if you haven't had a mentor you'd like one, please reach out to one of the admins. If you're looking for information, don't forget we have information in the file section of our page. As always, happy gliding, be safe, and have an amazeballs day.